Hello YouTube and other avenues of the internet. I'm Sean and welcome to my channel for my very first video. Now for this video I'm going to do something that I haven't seen on the internet, and that is a review for a particular knife known as the Sakura blade by Ronin Tactics. Now, a little bit of history about this knife. It was designed by Tu Lam from Ronin Tactics. You may know him from Forged in Fire, Knife or Death, or most recently, the Season 3 content of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. Now, he designed the knife, and a former teammate of his at Spartan Blades helped produce the knife in 2015. Now, Spartan Blades is a company that designs knives and has a stellar reputation in the knife world. All right, so full disclosure, I have no direct connection to Ronin Tactics, though honestly I wish I had some. The only connection between me and Ronin Tactics is the fact that both me and Tu Lam served in the US military and were both martial artists. I'm particularly trained in Derobia Eskrima, which is one of the arts stemming from the Philippines. Now, going from tip to butt, sorry Grand Thumb, don't sue me for taking your catchphrase on this one. We're going to start right here. As you can see, the blade itself is double-edged with a very narrow point. Now, what this does is it aids in the blade's piercing ability into soft targets such as flesh, soft body armor, whatever soft target happens to be in its way at that time. Moving back here, as you can see, we got a very stout thumb ramp, which grants a lot of good traction. Once your thumb is on there, it's just locked in. Now what this does is it aids in control and power cuts in the event that you're using this knife as a self-defense weapon. The finger grooves right here at the back forming the handle are rounded out, which eliminates any hot spots, and they're very nicely cut out to where even a hand shaped like mine fits comfortably in there with no issues. Now, as you can see, you could most likely, if you choose to, give it a 550 paracord wrap if you want. However, I personally would not recommend that, as it may interfere with the concealability of the knife. The finger ring is very gracious and also rounded out to avoid any hot spots. As you can see, there is that much gap between my finger and the outside of the ring, which helps in the event that you're using gloves with this knife. All right, so now, as far as the length of this blade goes, the total length is 8 3/16 of an inch, with the blade itself making 3.5 inches up of that length. Now, for those of you in the military that want to get this knife for use, in garrison, it's only violating the limitations a little bit. Now, for law enforcement, I honestly can't say, since my experience is strictly military. But I'm pretty sure it's going to depend on your department policies on whether or not you can carry a knife to begin with. Consult your policies. All right, so as you can see, this blade is just one solid piece of steel. CPM S35V to be exact. Now, without going into deep details as far as what that means, because I don't have expert knowledge in metallurgy. That's just not my field. But I did do my due diligence and look it up. Now, what I can say is that this steel is highly sought after in knife that serves a variety of purposes, most notably hunting and survival. Okay, now with this particular knife, as you can see by the size, I personally would not use this in a hunting or survival scenario just because of how narrow it is. But both Tu Lam and Spartan Blades have answered that call already with their Shinto blade, which is also a knife that I would like to review in the future. Now, the blade's high steel toughness improves the durability of the blade, as well as making it very difficult to chip and easy to keep sharpened and hold an edge. The steel itself is also high in corrosion and wear resistance, so it's not going to rust as easily in austere environments. But because it is still metal, eventually it will oxidize. So you gotta make sure that you take care of your knife. Make sure it's well taken care of, and it will take care of you like any other weapon. The blade is very lightweight, which aids itself into making it very comfortable to carry for long stretches. And because of the slim design, makes it extremely comfortable to carry inside the waistband. Now, as far as the balance point of the blade, it's right about here where the quote-unquote handle comes in contact with the blade, right there. All right, so as you can see, the balance point is right there in the middle. Now, what this does is, since the center of gravity is right here, that makes it extremely easy to go from forehand to reverse grip with minimal difficulty, so long as you practice. That's the key. Now, the way this knife is designed, it's designed to be drawn and deployed in extreme close quarters situations. Which brings me to the next point, the sheath. The sheath itself, as you can see, is Kydex with 11 grommet holes for a variety of attachment options. It does come with an inside the waistband belt loop with a very stout clip. As you can see, it does not open very easily. It has to be applied and open from a very specific angle. It should be noted that this sheath does become compatible with Blade Tech attachments, which gives you a wider variety of carry options. Now, as far as the retention goes, the blade goes in very easily and comes out very easily. Now, I get it. It seems concerning. However, once it goes in, it's not coming out until you want it to come out. So there's that. Right here at the bottom, you may or may not be able to see it, is a little drain hole at the bottom of the sheath, In the event that you do end up in the drink, for whatever reason, it's there to make sure water does not become trapped. Now, the price point listed for this knife is $390, not including shipping and handling. Now, the shipping and handling I chose put the final price point to about $407. Now wait, I get it. That does sound pricey. I ain't gonna lie, it does sound pricey. But, as I've come to learn over the years, when it comes to items such as weapons, you tend to get what you pay for. And also, you're not just paying that amount of money for just a good, high quality knife. No, my friends. You're also getting a red atomized aluminum trainer. This way, you can safely practice your fighting techniques or whatever have you without having to rely on the actual blade and risking injury. All right, so now with that being said, during my time owning this knife, I carried it in 3 very common carrying positions. First one, I was carrying it vertically. Now, with this method of carry, I found it to be comfortable in standing and walking, but not so much when I was sitting or driving in my car, as I felt it digging into my sides a bit. Now, forewarning, I do have a bit of veteran pudge. It tends to happen. No judgment here, okay? Okay. Now, option 2, pictured here, I had it angled in the appendix area. Now, with this method of carry, I found it to be very comfortable in both walking and sitting and driving my car. Okay. The only issue with that is, again, because I have a bit of a pudge, I gotta be a little more careful when I go to put the knife back. Okay, that's really the only primary issue that I had with that one. Carry option 3, pictured here, I had it angled in the back. Now, as you can see, I had to change up the grommet hole to make sure that I had no issues putting the knife back in the sheath once I was done drawing it. Also, now, again, this one, comfortable standing, comfortable walking, comfortable driving and sitting. The only drawback is you have to angle it up a little bit so it's not poking out of the side in the event that you're using a t-shirt like this as your concealed carry garment. Now, as far as carrying goes, ultimately, with any method of carry, whether it's a knife, a firearm, or whatever, it's really going to come down to user preference. And as long as you can make it work for you, who really cares? All right, as long as you can make it work for you, that's the key thing. Now, whether you carry a knife like this, strong side or weak side, again, it's user preference. However, where a blade like this truly shines is when it's used in conjunction with a sidearm, as I will show you right here. All right, so here with the demonstration portion, I'm going to show you how you can utilize the Sakura blade in conjunction with a sidearm. But first things first, we're going to do this safely. Now, I have a cold steel training pistol, 1911, because America. And then I got the training blade right here. Now, I'm a right-handed shooter, so naturally the blade itself would be in my left hand. All right. Now, some people could try utilizing same hand with the gun, but as you can see right there, I got the knife pressing up on my trigger finger. Not exactly ideal. Plus, it compromises my grip just slightly. All right. So, with my firing hand, I prefer to have a complete and secure grip. Whereas when the knife is in my support hand, it fits well enough to where it's not cumbersome and I can still maintain a steady fire position. Now, what a lot of people don't realize is that in regards to the finger ring here, some people will try to choke up all the way and get nice and deep in there, okay? Vets, military, law enforcement, behave yourself. All right, good. I don't care, do what you want. Now, what I prefer is this knuckle and this knuckle, going right in between there. What that does is, in the event that I find myself in a close quarter engagement, and we're struggling over the knife, eventually this knife could essentially get taken out of my hand. A lot of people think that a finger ring means the knife is not coming out. No, I can attest through personal experience, learning the hard way, that this sucker will come out of your hand against a skilled opponent or an extreme stress situation. So me personally, I prefer the knuckles being right here. That way, in the event I find myself in a compromised situation where the knife is going to be taken from me, I take my finger out like so. That way, there's no chance of me getting caught in there and my finger being degloved. If you don't know what that means, Google is your friend. You've been warned. Now, also in the event of holding the knife in the reverse grip, or also known as Bakal with the Filipino martial arts, is it gives you the ability to flip it out and flail like this, giving you a bit of extra reach in reverse. Instead of having to reach all the way out like this, just flail. And with a double-edged knife like the Sakura, it will cut instead of just impact. And then you just flip it right back. Okay? Now, you could also carry in the sock grip, all right, or foregrip, okay? Now, me personally, I prefer that when it comes to my pinky finger, that it wrap over the finger ring. It's gonna feel a bit awkward at first, but you tend to get used to it the more you do it. The reason why I do it like this is for the same reason why I only use these two knuckles right here in the reverse grip. And that is, I personally don't like having my finger dug all the way in to the finger ring in the event that something goes wrong and I need to let go of the blade or get my finger out of there to make sure it doesn't get broken, the skin doesn't get torn off, whatever have you. So I prefer in this grip that my finger be free, okay? Now, if you're doing it like this and your finger happens to be in the ring, yes, you could essentially let it hang and utilize your firearm in this instance. And then in the event you need to go back to your knife, just swing it right back up, like so. That's the advantage of that. However, I find that when it comes to the finger ring, a knife in this fashion is better suited for the reverse grip. Now, to show you that this knife works well in conjunction with a sidearm, I got the real deal on hand. First thing I want to do is show you how concealable this knife is. For example, if you can see the knife, hit that thumbs up, because that's a like on the video. Kudos to you. kudos to you. And also comment down below if you can see it. And if not, keep looking because it's right here. This right here just goes to show you that even with a simple t-shirt like this, you can still carry this blade. Just to show you how versatile it is as far as concealed carry options. Okay, now to show you how to utilize it with an actual firearm. Alright, so with my setup like this, you'll be able to easily see me draw the knife as well as work my firearm. Now, for safety reasons, I do have a plastic bullet, aka a snap cap. It is not real in any aspect. Very good training tool if you want to do weapon jams or failure drills, anything of that nature. All right. But if you're on the range and you have these with you, keep an eye on your buddy in case they try to screw with your magazines. All right. My firearm right here, good old 1911, because America. 3-point check. No live ammunition of any kind. All right. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and do the drill portion of this demonstration. All right, so for this portion, we're going to be simulating your weapon running dry, the slides locked to the rear, and you got to reload. Okay, so we got our firearm, got our knife. All right, real deal. Engage the threat. Empty. Check. Failed fire. As you saw, no issue reloading the weapon, loading the magazine, or working the slide with a live blade in hand. Now, the way you can also utilize this, is primarily as weapons retention, firearm retention specifically. So say like, for whatever reason, let's say your open carry or your concealed carry does not mean inside the waistband, okay? And you find yourself in a close range engagement and your assailant tries to go for your firearm. Well, first and foremost, you don't want them to get your firearm. So you lock it down as best you can, right? You're going to be close in, you're going to be struggling, and then you just draw your blade and cut your assailant right off of you. Slash, stab, whatever have you to get them off, and then draw and engage. Yes, I'm fat, deal with it. That's how I would recommend using a knife like this. The finger ring, as you saw, lends itself very well to be able to utilize it in conjunction with a firearm. Particularly a sidearm is where it truly shines. I personally have not figured out how to make this knife work well in conjunction with a two-handed weapon such as a rifle, for example. I haven't figured that out. As far as I know, there are only 2 knives on the market that work well in that capacity, neither of which I own at the moment. Keyword, at the moment. With that being said, my only closing remarks is really just one con. I gave you a list of pros, but the only con I really have with this knife is the fact that the trainer only fits in the sheath about that far, which to me personally is really the only con I have. Ronin Tactics 2, if this could be a design change in the future, I personally think that would be phenomenal, because if you have a knife that can work with the equipment that you have on hand, that's going to further enhance your ability to train and utilize that weapon in many different scenarios. Because as always, professionals, we train like we fight. Now, make sure you like this video, leave a comment down below, and let me know what kind of knife you prefer to carry, either in a tactical setting or EDC or whatever have you, or just whatever type of knife that you personally prefer to carry. Also, let me know if there's any other blades or items that you want me to review in the future. I will have more videos coming out, so keep your eye open for those. I'm Sean, and I will see you in the next video.